Good morning and welcome to episode 10 of the Bob and Kevin Show. On today's episode, we will cover all the headlines that matter to us in our On the Clock segment, and we'll have our internet famous YouTube quiz, and we're going to take a deeper look at some of the Super Bowl commercials from last night and probably just have some random chatter about Super Bowl-ness. It's Monday, September 5th. Buckle in and hold on, because here we go.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Kevin. How the heck are you?
Oh, you know, I'm a little rough. I don't know if it's just Super Bowl hangover fatigue, and I don't mean alcohol. I had nothing to drink last night, or just, you know, staying up late, getting old. If my wife were standing here, she would probably tell me that. So yeah, I need to do some stretching today. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm actually feeling a little bit of that fatigue as well. I didn't even really stay up that late, although I did get sucked into staying up after the Super Bowl to watch the new episode of This Is Us, because I'm one of those people. So, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that show? I saw promos. I don't watch, so.
It's just one of those, you know, feel-good dad shows. This Is Us is a family show. I'm not going to give too much away, but the family goes through some changes, and last night was a big change that they revealed that we all knew about, but we didn't know how it happened, and so you're just going to have to check it out.
You know what's so here's a live look out behind the world famous studio here. We got some snow last night, and the more interesting thing about this, besides my snow-covered alley, there's daylight back there, Bob.
That is amazing.
Spring is coming, so
slowly but surely.
All right, so you know, I guess we should jump right into the news of the week.
Let's go on the clock.
All right, so we got to make sure we are paying the bills with our stinger there, and we have a little bit of a rework of our cool new toy here, and like Bob said, we're going to be on the clock. And here we go. So
here we go. 1 minute. Go.
Go. All right. So Microsoft disabled the Spectre patch after bugs were reported. And reading through this article here, it kind of left me thinking that, oh my gosh, was there really a problem anyway? Was this all theoretical? And now is the only real tangible damage or like problems self-inflicted, Bob?
I don't know. I feel like it just gave everyone more time to like figure out how to make this impossible penetration. But the one thing that stuck out to me is down toward the end of the article. I guess it is the last paragraph. In its announcement of disabling the update, Microsoft urged users to stay informed about the status of patch for Spectre. Urged users to stay informed. That's just not happening. There's so many older people that use this stuff. I'm not paying attention. Are you paying attention?
You know, no, I'm not. In fact, one of my piece of homework was to go see if that patch was taken away. But you know what? We're going to have to move on to the next topic here, but maybe a follow-up after the show. So, yeah, there we go. All right, so WordPress, shocker here. They have an infection with a keylogger over 2,000 sites, and there's a reinfection.
It was a recurrence of an infection that happened in December. Surprise!
Yeah. So again, this highlights, you know, what are vendors doing when they have third-party software. I know we'll talk a little bit later about Windows 10s. Microsoft does have some sort of actual defense against this, but I don't know if it's all that good. So there's your little tease for a little bit. And we're in the Embracer community again. I'm hoping this never happens to Embracer, but I think it's inevitable.
Well, did you see the sketchiness? So the first time the infection happened, it was from an actual Cloudflare CDN repository. But now there's all these fake ones like cdjs.online, cdns.ws, msdns.online. Those aren't. So it's sketchy.
Beat by the clock. All right. So apparently it could be more profitable right now to hack Windows XP than crypto investments. It seems that there's a thing called jackpotting where you can actually tell an old Windows XP ATM to just dispense money to somebody waiting there. And yeah, awkward.
And there's some piece of technology that they can use to push a reset button.
I think the most shocking thing here is Windows XP has been sunset by Microsoft, and everyone beats at the top of their lungs the drama of web security, and network security, and we're still using Windows XP out in the wild.
Well, I think that the Secret Service alert urged them to upgrade to Windows 7, which is also sundowned or ended, is it not?
I don't think it is, but I definitely think it's no longer in vogue. I would have to look up the official dates on that. Windows 7, is from a different solar system than Windows XP, right? So at least they didn't recommend Windows Vista.
Yeah, exactly. ME, downgrade to ME. Really?
Yeah.
Did we leave ourselves that much time for this segment too?
Yeah,
wow.
We did.
Or were we supposed to talk about something else in there too? I don't remember.
I think we're good. Well, next up we've got the Facebook bans the crypto ad. So let's go ahead and get on the clock there. So if you plan on having any sort of get-rich-quick schemes through crypto on Facebook, good luck.
Yeah, so basically they're just kind of, what was the phrase? Facebook hasn't been doing a good job of protecting its visitors or users from bad actors. I love that phrase, bad actors.
Yeah.
So apparently get-rich schemes are out.
Well, and apparently that might be a nice segue to our next top, whether or not is the crypto experiment over. And the reason I ask is because here's the prices of Litecoin, and Bitcoin's probably the one.
Snap.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now, the experiment is over for the baty-barr family.
Yeah.
For the time being.
The crypto casino. The house is totally winning right now, especially if you've bought in 2018 at all. It seems like
Ethereum is down to 771.
Yes, sir.
Those are today's numbers.
Those are our live looks right now from Coinbase.
Of course, then I try to look at our own little crypto ticker because I haven't been paying attention to it. This is not good.
And so, yeah, you probably wanted to see. Better numbers here, and I'm into Ripple as well, and that is just sliding big time too. So that is down to 77 cents. Maybe it's a great time to buy that. You can, or maybe not. I don't know. Again,
was it closer? It was much closer to $1 yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and it peaked around $3 all not that long ago. So for any jokers who bought in at that time, yikes.
I would like to recant my new norms from a couple weeks ago. It looks like those new norms are much lower than I had originally established.
All right, Bob, so we've got 30 seconds. Why don't you play armchair economist in the crypto world? Where are we going to bottom out? Are we going to bottom out?
God, at this point, I'm a total doomsayer. I think it might just collapse. I think all these little major coins are going to be like the altcoins of today. So I can't put any more money into it, and I probably wouldn't recommend it either, even though you'll see ticker stuff down along the bottom that says it's going to peak out at 50K or something ridiculous like that this year.
And what you don't hear is all those Bitcoin can't be in a bubble. It's impossible, people. They've kind of gone quiet lately, so... who knows? Okay, moving on here. Has Facebook reached saturation because they've lost daily users for the first time ever in the United States and Canada? So
might be one of the most positive things I've heard about the general population in a very long time.
So here's a fancy chart with a single red bar, and I guess they lost at that 1 million daily active users going from the third to the fourth quarter. I got to admit, Facebook to me is not useful anymore. I just don't understand.
It's dead to me.
Yeah, it is dead to me. And along those lines, could some of that be driven by some of their practices? So we've got a tweet that went out last night. Facebook patent to determine users' social class. Oh, are you rich or are you poor? And we're going to market to you differently. And
are they just going to use one of those quizzes that always pop up in your timeline? Find out which Stranger Things character you are.
Yeah, so who knows, but it is a legit thing, and it was apparently filed in 2016, so more to follow on that and privacy. Okay, real quick, the Justice Department must be watching our show because they totally are. The SEC and Justice Department are looking into the iPhone slowdown. more to follow on that. And more interesting is later this week, we will have hopefully live coverage of the Falcon Heavy launch. If you missed it, SpaceX launched the Falcon 9. And on Tuesday, they're set to launch what should become the largest rocket since the Saturn V missions. Bob, what do you think?
Well, first of all, how do they come up with the names? Like, if I'm going to name a rocket, I don't know if I want the word heavy in it.
Yeah, I don't know, but can you? Or I think I've told you what the payload is. It's Elon Musk's cherry red Tesla Roadster is the payload, and the reason they selected that is, I guess, it's trivial in case it blows up, in case it doesn't do much. So it's a cross marketing thing. It's probably pretty brilliant, other than the fact that it makes him just feel like super rich and out of touch. But I'm happy that he's doing space exploration. At least somebody is trying.
So if this test is successful, does he get his car back?
No, because I think what this is supposed to do is a perpetual orbit around the solar system, and it's going to go out as far as Mars. So you will have a Tesla Roadster if indeed if this all goes well, just orbiting the solar system. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's Tuesday, TBD on the time, but we're contemplating doing a live stream with commentary. More to follow. All right.
Tune in.
Yes. Next up, we don't need no stinking PayPal, says eBay. So eBay is going with another provider, it seems, and they're called Adyen. Some of our European folks may have heard of them because I believe this is based in the Netherlands. And they already work with Netflix, Spotify, and Uber.
Full disclosure, I didn't know that PayPal and eBay broke up in 2015, but apparently they had to. So I guess one of the benefits of using this other payment provider is that they will integrate with their client's user database, so you don't have to log into a separate system to do your checkout. That seems to be the big appeal with going with this.
Well, what's really weird is if PayPal and eBay were supposed to split up because of some sort of, weird trust or monopoly thing, why are they getting in bed with somebody else? Is that why they're international? I don't know.
I don't know.
And the question I've been asking myself for a little bit is, what the hell is Windows 10S? And you don't really find out much here until you go into Windows' actual FAQs. And it turns out that this feels like, and I think, Bobby, you mentioned this feels like Chrome OS, kind of a stripped-down one.
I did read that this is their answer to Chrome OS, but I was wondering if the S stood for small. Windows 10 small.
I don't know, but here's what I do know. I think this also, after reading all this, it felt like this is like, hey, yet another edition of, we are late to the market. We want to play too, guys. And this feels like iOS for the as a Windows thing. So the main restriction is you can't install anything other than what's in the Windows Store, which is a huge thing. And then by default, you get Edge as your browser, and you can change it if and only if there's a competing browser in the Windows Store. And there's a little shot across the bow here by Microsoft saying you get Edge because it's more secure than Chrome or Firefox. And they did some research on this to prove it, and it didn't compel me at all to want to do this.
Gauntlet thrown.
So
I'm intrigued by the hardware possibilities. I mean, there's some pretty cool little machines out there that run in Chrome. They're pretty nice. So it'll be interesting to see how what they come up with to run on 10S.
So we've run out of time, and that was the last one. And I'm going to call a little audible. Hey, see the Super Bowl tie in there, huh? Okay. But we're not Omaha. Yeah. but I don't want to do the Super Bowl just yet. The audible is I want to talk a little more about Windows 10S because this kind of grinds my gears a little bit. Now, under the hood, this is Windows 10 Pro that's been locked down, is essentially what Windows 10S is. And you can't install anything that's outside the store. But my question to you, Bob, is have you used the Windows 10 store at all?
Have I used it at all? Yeah, on my personal device I have. Only rarely, though, like very limited.
Same here.
And then, of course, you're locked down in certain environments, so you can't get to it at all.
And like, so I've used the Twitter app and a few things, and I just hated the experience. It didn't feel like a quality experience to me.
Right, but that's their whole thing with Windows 10 is these integrated apps that, basically take you out of the browser Chrome. Well, or any Chrome. It puts you in that super flat Windows 10 world. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan either.
No, but I mean, I do see the utility. It's like, well, hey, Kevin, Apple's over here. They got OS 10 and they've got iOS. Two different audiences, blah, blah, blah. This is what we do. But when you look at the FAQs and you say, well, who is this for? It's basically for it's designed by students and educators for schools.
I was going to say they have to be going after the education market because right now Chrome dominates it.
But and then you can upgrade from Windows 10s to regular 10 Pro, and it says it's very easy as long as you've got those greenbacks on hand in digital form, not crypto. But for me, could you imagine going to a store, say Walmart or a discount retailer, finding a device and going, oh, does this come with Windows 10? Oh, look, it does, honey. It says Windows 10S right there. We've got Windows 10. All right, we'll take it, wrap it up. Let's take it home. And then getting home to go, what is this? I can only use the Windows 10 store, which I've never heard of until after I've made a purchase.
I think Chrome's been pretty successful with their Chromebook marketing. So yeah, it is Microsoft. And of course they could drop the ball on the marketing and confuse people. But
do people confuse Chrome with maybe the browser? I mean, that's the only brand confusion I see. But when you say the word Windows,
right
now I've got brand confusion. So I guess this would have been better for me if it wasn't called Windows, but what would they call it? And they're so tightly integrated. So this might work out for Microsoft. I might be eting these words later. But
it probably won't work out for them because it's such a late Johnny-come-lately kind of thing. And Microsoft's got just a history of, oh, hey, we're still on the clock. A history of, kind of projects that just fizzle. Zune comes to mind. Microsoft Phone comes to mind. So
here, let me see if I can say them all from memory in one breath. Bing, Zune, Windows 10s, Edge, Internet Explorer. Well, I guess they started with Internet Explorer. Anyway.
So the odds, so the over under, if we're gonna, riff off the betting and Super Bowl and all this kind of stuff, the over under is that it's gonna fail.
I would go with, yep. Well, at least you got the out of, well, I guess we're going to upgrade everyone to Windows 10 Pro when this doesn't work out because so that's their out maybe. So, okay. All right, enough about Windows 10s. Maybe you know now a little bit about what the hell Windows 10s is. And let's go with additional stuff that we did last night. And I don't know if you heard or saw. I think, Bob, you caught the second half of this thing we call the Super Bowl.
I did. I was at a play, Potted Potter.
And how
pretty good.
Potted Potter. Interesting. Is this like a national thing or local thing or?
It was on Broadway. I think now it's in Chicago. I think it's been running for 7 years. Basically, it is all 7 Harry Potter books, interpreted by these 2 young comic or comedians, I guess. And it's 70 minutes of the 7 Harry Potter books. It's pretty outrageous. It was a good family time.
So, what did you think of the game last night? Since you only caught the second half.
Well, I knew since the Patriots were involved, I really didn't need to, chime in until later in the game. Anyway,
yeah,
did not disappoint.
Last 2 minutes, right? Tom Brady's playing. Tune in for the last 2 minutes. So.
At least they weren't coming back from like 25-3 or whatever it was the year before, so or 28-3. So
yeah, not gonna lie, I'm kind of happy with the result. So.
You're not alone.
We did.
90% of America is happy that they lost.
One ad last night, or kind of ad. Maybe you didn't see this. Maybe this is good for us to kind of unravel here. Cloverfield franchise has 10 Cloverfield Lane. Cloverfield, the one with, I don't know, Godzilla or whatever. But this is the latest one, and it's from J.J. Abrams, Bad Robots, and Netflix is actually the distribution on this. And turns out, rather than just tease, hey, this is coming, they did a clever thing last night, and they just released it. And they waited till the game was over, and they even had a little message box that said, hey, guess what? You can have this when the movie's over. And so this kind of could represent kind of a new shift in distribution, or at least kind of pays off kind of what a lot of people were thinking, where it's like, you know what, do we even need movie theaters anymore? And I don't want to turn this into that philosophical discussion unless you want to, but I started watching it last night. I'm like, yeah, I mean, home theaters.
Is it a movie or a series?
So the Cloverfield franchise is movies, and then this is a single movie. It's just like a...
Oh, so it is. Okay, so it's a long format. Okay, for some reason I thought it was going to be a new Netflix, series.
No, and it's got a great cast. A lot of big names in it, and this is from J.J. Abrams, so it was a pleasant surprise.
So is this all part of their like $8 billion or whatever they had, or $80 billion to do content for this year?
No idea.
It's got to be. It's got to
be. Interestingly, about a week ago, somebody actually seemed to predict this actually happening, and they said, well, hey, wouldn't it be cool if Netflix just released this instead? And while I don't have the tweet that predicts it, this was actually the screenshot from Ryan Conley's Twitter account, guy I follow, huge indie film guy I like, but available to watch after the game. So this is kind of like the big, oh my gosh moment for a bunch of nerds like me. So
those movies just creep me out.
Well, it is pretty creepy.
Speaking of things that creep you out, are we going to talk about Amazon? Oh, no, we're going to talk about Westworld. Okay.
Yes, we are. So, this was another pleasant surprise. Of course, this doesn't happen until April, but Boo. Westworld 2, Bob, we had a pretty awesome off-air discussion about artificial intelligence and whatnot. But what's your feeling on Westworld? Is this something that you're interested in?
I love this show. I love the show. I can't wait for it to come back. I'm disappointed it's not back till April. I keep checking, every so often with a lot of these series that go, on these intended hiatuses. I'm excited for this one to come back.
Yes.
It's dark.
Totally is. All right. Any other Super Bowl ads jump out to you?
So we've been talking about at our house the Amazon, Alexa having laryngitis, and it was cool to watch that little ad campaign evolve, or that ad as a campaign evolve over the course of the week, because they came out with the teaser and then they launched the full one ahead of the game. And then during the game, it came out. And so my family was like, hey, we should just ask, what's the deal with the voice? And so we asked her what the deal was with the voice. And we got a very interesting response. One of the responses was only in the movies. So basically we were saying, hey, do you have a new voice? And she said, only in the movies. And we were like, what? So it's like, were we getting trolled by Amazon, or is she actually getting a new voice? Because at the end of the spot, a very evolved and much more refined voice says, no, guys, I'll take it from here.
Yep.
So
I think it just means you'll have choices. I'm hoping. So.
See, I don't think the choices thing actually is the deal, because at the end it's just a refined voice version of her voice. So it sounded like she was going to get a serious upgrade and be much more soft, human-like. But then, of course, the little device trolled us in saying that no, that's just in the movies. So who knows?
So I can't have Gordon Ramsay help me through a recipe or anything like that.
Nope. Nor can you get Cardi B, or can you get Rebel Wilson?
Okay. Well,
I love the Rebel part. She's so funny.
Well, that's kind of disappointing. Not that I can't have a famous celebrity voice, that I can't change the gender, or I think typically we have like a British English version or an American English version. So I was hoping to, at a minimum, at least for that. Okay, what else?
If I could get anybody to do mine, it would be Snoop Dogg.
Not, of course. I would like. Have you ever gotten the? You can download for Garmin a turn by turn by Darth Vader.
Yes.
So I would like it if somebody could actually create like a voice pack, so you can have whoever, just depends on somebody making it.
There were a lot of other tech-based companies that had commercials featured in the Super Bowl, but I feel like a lot of them took the social road, and not like the social media road. Talked about bringing people together, those types of ad spots. So not so much about any breaking technology that was coming or anything like that. So I don't want to say that was disappointing, but I was kind of hoping for more, I love my humor. Also, what was up with the guy from Stranger Things and the Tide ads? I missed the early ones, so I couldn't connect them all together.
I saw the early ones, and I still was asking the same question myself. Yeah,
it was sheriff from Stranger Things featured in a Tide ad.
Yes. Bob, I just realized we blew right through the quiz. We can either come back to it or keep going with the Super Bowl ads. I think
we can end with the quiz today. So,
okay.
Do you have any more Super Bowl addy type stuff?
I don't. I was actually fairly disappointed overall. I have a high bar of wanting great stuff.
Actually, did you catch the halftime show? Because I missed it.
I did.
I saw a lot of mixed reviews on Twitter. So, what was your review?
My review will come right after we do the shameless self-promotion to subscribe to the channel. You're pointing the wrong way, Bob. I finally got it. If I just point opposite, I'll get it. So, Bob, tell us why people should subscribe to the show.
Subscribing to the show is going to give you VIP access to when we go live. Basically, if you hit that notification bell at the same time, every time that we go live, you will be notified, and you will become one of our favorite fans for doing that subscribing and notification. Also, it helps us to continue to rake in this fat YouTube cash,
yes.
Which is zero, by the way. We're doing this for fun.
All right, Bob. Ask and you shall receive. So it was sponsored by Pepsi, obviously. It was interesting because it started not at the 50-yard line on a giant platform, nor did anyone rappel from the ceiling a la Lady Gaga. So Justin actually started in, the inside in like a bar. And then if we skip forward in time here, he kind of walked up these stairs right here. And it was good. I mean, I remarked to my wife, I'm like, it's good to be Justin Timberlake right now. I mean,
dude's on fire. Has been for a decade.
Yes, so I liked it. There was a Prince homage portion here, if I can.
But they didn't. The hologram never made it, right? Did the Prince hologram ever show up? Oh God, it did.
It's not really a hologram. It's basically a sheet with a projector on it, and so not the hologram we had hoped. Obviously,
feared.
Paying homage to the late artist formerly known and currently known as Prince, because he is a Minnesotan, or should I say Minnesotan?
Minnesotan.
Yeah, so it's my best Southern Canada accent. so I liked it. It's obviously here on YouTube. It's worth a watch, and lots of purple happening there. I don't know how they did this here.
Whoa, they lit up the city? Wait, no way. That's digital.
See, that's what I was thinking too. But whatever. So I liked it, not gonna lie. I did not watch 100% of it. I was surely distracted by the urge to use the restroom and tuck kids in who were already passed out by this point. So yeah, that was not bad.
JT looking sharp.
He is, man. Not gonna lie, I should have went the boy band route in the late 90s.
What did you actually? You went like hairband route, didn't you?
I went hairband, college, and backyard wrestling. So that combination did not prove profitable.
You were not the triple threat that you'd hoped.
No. Who would have thunk? That backyard wrestling, computer science, and hairbands would lose their favor by 2018. So
well, since we left everyone on a cliffhanger and saved the quiz to the very end, why don't we cue that quiz graphic?
Ask and you shall receive, Bob.
That's why you're the best in the business.
Actually, Bob, we're the only one we got right now, so
you're the best in the business. All right, so to carry on the theme of everything that we've been talking about here toward the end of the show, today's quiz topic, it is my week to ask, right?
It is.
All right, so today's quiz topic is Super Bowl trivia.
Oh, man.
So we have 3 questions, like we always do. I ask 3 questions. user gets to pick, or the asker gets to pick the category. And these 3 questions will all be somehow related to the Super Bowl, since we just celebrated that yesterday. So, question number 1. What is the farthest north that the Super Bowl has ever been held?
I'm going to go with last night's game because it was also the coldest one on record. And
oh, someone was doing homework.
I was not.
you just got that from the in-game and pre-game banter?
I'm just guessing because I don't know that the Super Bowl's been held in, say, Seattle yet.
Nope. That is the farthest north, Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota is the farthest north of the Super Bowl, and it was the coldest start time on record, I believe.
Nice. All right. So hopefully I didn't ruin any future questions with the extra there.
Nope. So along the line of records, what is the record for the most Super Bowl appearances? Not wins, but appearances.
By a player?
What is the record? I'm looking actually for the number. What is the record?
The most appearances by a. I'm confused by the question.
The most appearances by a team.
By a team. Oh,
sorry.
I'm gonna go with it's got to be the Patriots, and they've made it to 9, if I'm correct. Because I remember back in the day, I'm a big football fan, by the way. 1985, the Bears blew out said Patriots, and we all
Super Bowl shuffle.
That's right. And we all, in this area, this is before the Colts moved into Indianapolis. We were all Bears fans for the most part, maybe some Cowboys. And that was my first Super Bowl that I remember. It was against the Patriots. And then I think Tom Brady's been to 8 himself, and that makes 9. So that's my answer.
Well, you were so close. It is the Patriots, but the number was 10.
Damn it. So you're right.
That was pretty good. That was really good.
Allow me to name the one I missed. Patriots versus the Packers, where Brett Favre won because Drew Bledsoe was the quarterback back then. And I believe it was in 1996 or 7 because I had a Super Bowl party at my house that year. So
fact checkers are going to have to get on that because that's beyond my football trivia knowledge.
All right. Bob.
All right. So I'll give you bonus points on that one for all the detail. So we'll say you're 2 for 2. The final question is a true or false question. So you have a 50-50 shot at getting this.
All right. Let me hold on. I'm calling in the friends.
Calling in the magic 8 ball. Do you want to ask the 8 ball first, or do you want to hear the question?
Let's just go ahead and hear it. And I might need to ask a friend. So
all right. So true or false? We consume more food on Super Bowl Sunday than any other day of the year. True or false?
Says don't count on it, but I'm not going to count on my friend. I'm going to say true. We do.
Oh, always trust the magic 8 ball. The number 1 day for food consumption is Thanksgiving.
Damn it.
But Super Bowl is a close second. So you should have trusted the 8 ball.
I should have. We need to we need to remember this in case I run into any more trivia problems. Maybe we need to keep score. The 8 ball or Kevin? Who's better, the 8 ball or Kevin? All right. So
I hope one of the interns has been keeping a running tally because I haven't.
All right. Well, awesome.
Those damn interns. So just a quick aside, anybody who's listening or watching later or watching now, let us know if you like the quiz segment at the end like we just did it, or toward the end like we just did it, or do you like it in the flow after headlines where we usually put it? So yeah, just let us know. We're not going to do a Twitter poll because we were told not to do those anymore by Twitter HQ. So
all right, but what we do also want you to do is hit that subscribe button because that really helps us out. It helps get notifications. There's also a little bell, and if you hit that bell, you'll actually get every notification. If you don't hit the bell, but you are subscribed, you might get some notifications. So that's your difference there. Bob, last word before you give us the last words.
The last word is to remember that Tuesday, the Falcon Heavy launch, you may see a special Insta feed from the Bob and Kevin show doing commentary for the Falcon Heavy launch. This will be my my first live commentary for a missile launch. How about you, Kevin?
Oh, yes, it will be my first live commentary, and you totally reminded me. Next Monday, you will either see a cardboard version of me, a digital version of me, no version of me, because I will be doing investigative journalism at Magic Kingdom in Orlando. So if you happen to be down in Florida at where happiness is made, you may be on a segment of either the Bob and Kevin Show or my personal YouTube channel, because I will be investigating the technology of Disney World. So,
and be kind, because I will be flying solo.
all right, Bob, let's hear it.
Bring the lightning.